starting about on time, quarter after. I think that should be the official start time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fowl Territory 316. I'm your host, Gizzard Gary, and it is Monday, June the 23rd, 2025. George Grayson Kett's birthday. Yes, although at present the birthday boy is taking a nap, so if he comes back in here, we'll say happy birthday to him, but we'll let him rest. So, real quick, I gotta fix something. There it is. And I'll
Do we know it's actually today, or what day is it?
Well, this is the official day. Here's the deal. When we got George, we was told by the pet shop that he was 7 weeks old. So, a couple weeks after I got him, I went back and went to the day that we picked him up and went back 7 weeks on the calendar, and it came out to June 23rd. So that officially became George's birthday. We don't actually know when he was born, but
well, that narrows it down enough.
Yeah, it's close enough.
I just wonder what day you picked.
That was how it got picked. It was exactly.
I was just wondering if it was this week or was today the actual day. That's all I was wondering.
All I know is a woman brought a litter of kittens that her mother cat had in and had the pet store give them away, and that's where
What was her name?
I don't know. Mrs. Katz, I believe, something like that. I'm not sure.
Was it one of your elementary school teachers, was it?
I didn't get George here in this town. Got him in the big city of Emporia.
She didn't drive a 59 Impala, did she?
Not as far as I know. I don't know if Mrs. Newkirk had any cats or not. She was.
Can't believe you didn't know George was the lady that dropped him off. Can't believe you didn't know her name. Know everything about her.
They didn't mention it at the pet store. I know he came from L&L Pets. That's the name of the pet store.
When did they open?
I don't know.
Are they still open?
Yeah, they're still open. Yes, they are still open.
Like continuous, or like there been any breaks in service?
No.
Same owners?
Yes.
So the same people own it?
Yes.
When did they buy it?
I presume Mr. and Mrs. L. I don't know. I have no idea. Before 2014. Let's put it that way.
So you don't really know.
When they bought it? No, I don't. I do know it's still L&L Pets to this day. So
we don't know if it's the same owners.
Well, maybe another couple that had their names was L, and they decided they didn't want to change it. They kept it, but it's possible. I don't know. Maybe somebody who lives in Emporia, Kansas. Anybody out there living in Emporia, Kansas? No, I didn't think so.
No, there's no one.
Well, if there is one guy, rides a motorcycle. We met him up at Wanamaker one time, him and his son. I think Net Flutter was his.
Did they ride in on the same motorcycle?
Handle. I don't think so. They came in a car, but they both live in Emporia.
But he rides a motorcycle, but he came in a car.
Yes. Every time he's on YouTube, he's out in his garage working on his motorcycle. How about that? So anyway, I That's a long story about not much in particular. You know what's important? Let's see who's out there first off. Let's say hi to the viewers, including gun websites. First one out there, C4 Defense is out there and in here. Rich Wright out there and in here. And then we have Rob D, the New York Outcast, out in the audience. We have Alaska One, Andy, Dale Pogue, and Ron 2A Matters is out there. Ozzy Orsborn, Barking at the Moon. Anniversary from Ron 2A Matters, member for 17 months. Thank you. Guns and Water is in the audience. Let's see. Jacob S is out there. We have Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy. Artak and Daughters is in the audience. Got TJ Fishing all the way from down under. We have Bama Dad. Roll Tide. Surrender Perk is out there. Also, Defense Dad from the state of Nebraska is out there. Rimfire Range Relaxation is in the audience, as is Gerald Muir. That's 22 people out there. So how about in here? Well, let's take a look and see who we have for a panel tonight. And right next to me on the screen is my co-host with the co-most. He comes to us all the way. Well, a couple of them come from North Carolina. And he, of course, is the sunshine that brightens our day, the oracle of knowledge, the voice of reason, and the man of orange. But I really don't need anything to describe this guy. Say hello to Obnoxious One.
Hello.
I'm waiting for everybody to say hello to me.
Hello.
Yeah, he told us all to say hello.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hello, Obnoxious One.
Yo.
We also have George Cortez out there in the audience. And thank you, Obi, for being here. Let's go on to comes to us from the valleys of West Virginia. He is, of course, the host of This Week Unloaded on the Unloaded Media channel, and known to all as a really nice guy. Say hello to Rich White.
Hello to Rich White.
What the hell do you want?
Oh. And well, thank you for being here. Last but not least, our other gentleman from the state of North Carolina. See, we got the Carolinas covered here, folks. So if you're in the Carolinas, don't you worry. We got you covered.
Got the mountains and the Piedmont covered.
That's right. Piedmont. Okay. But say hello from our man from Western North Carolina, dag near Tennessee, but not quite. Say hello to Sergeant C4 Defense.
Hello.
Hello.
I used to be closer to Tennessee than last week than I am this week after they had those floods. I-40's closed again.
Yeah, I heard that. Yay.
Yay, yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. And now you got summer traffic, and then you add about another 25% onto it for people trying to go around because of the gorge. Oh my gosh.
Just think about all the people trying to get to goals this year.
You can't get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy says, Obi, put the stuff and things away. It's showtime. Ooh. Well, I don't know if he's playing with his stuff and things right now. Surely he wouldn't do that. I do have the ticker going on the bottom of the screen, and it talks about tonight's giveaway, tonight's prize giveaway, which, of course, as always, is sponsored by good folks at Aegis Gun Care, the leader in performance and protection. And this week, they are giving away the cleaner and lubricant combo kit to tonight's winner. So, Two Live Moves out there. He says summer traffic and summer tiefs. There you go. Defense Dad said, so what did George get for his birthday? Treats. He got petted. He got fed. He's getting to take the show off while he's taking a nap. I didn't get that option, sadly. So, anyway, the hashtag to enter tonight's giveaway should
No
be.
kings.
Hmm.
Oh, I thought it was going to be hashtag no kings.
That would have been last week, I think. Hashtag should be # FT316. Let me look at the giveaway tool. Yep, that's right. We already have 7 people entered in the giveaway. So, heck yeah. All right. So, anybody want to talk about some guns and some gun stuff? Gun related news, perhaps. Anybody? Anybody? Too bad. We're going to do it anyway. All right. So, let me share my screen. We're going to take a look at an article from bearingarms.com, and it is entitled Ohio Anti-Gunners Living in a Fantasy Land. This was written this evening by Tom Knighton. And it says Ohio has become one of the more pro-gun states in the nation. They're not at the top, but it hasn't been for lack of trying. And even a terrible mass shooting didn't result in massive regulations, which puts them ahead of Florida in my book. Still, with some significant urban areas in the state, there's always a risk of things changing, and at least some in the media want you to think that's about to happen. And it says, a month of gun violence is prompting new calls for firearms safety regulations. But with a GOP-controlled legislature, some Ohio advocates say they may need to take the laws into their own hands through a constitutional amendment. The Dems haven't been successful with passing legislation through the General Assembly. They may want at the ballot box. In 2023, voters overwhelmingly protected access to abortion, legalized marijuana, and kept majority rule for voting. I think what we've seen on a number of issues when we have a legislature that's out of touch with where most Ohioans are, and we saw it with the reproductive freedom, and I think we see it with the issue of addressing gun violence and common sense reforms, quote here, the people eventually do rise up, House Minority Leader Allison Russo said. So basically, they want a constitutional amendment that somehow codifies gun control. However, let's be real here. There's a big difference between just protecting access to abortions or legalizing pot. These are simple measures, and they're pretty clear-cut. So far, there's no specific language being proposed in their gun control effort, which is telling. I mean, it sort of sounds like they want to kill any preemption efforts via a constitutional amendment, but no one is actually saying that. No one is getting into specifics, and that's a problem, especially since it seems unlikely you can codify gun control via a state constitution without running into Second Amendment issues. And again, those other victories Democrats are claiming in Ohio are issues that many Republicans actually favor to some degree or another. The number of GOP members who support legalizing marijuana is much higher than I'd have ever thought possible. While the party also tends to be pro-life, many individual Republicans differ from their party on that. What these folks are banking on is that Ohio Republicans will also feel that way about guns. And after the Dayton shooting, if those were plentiful enough to make a difference, I'm pretty sure they have already done something in the state. They didn't. In short, the anti-gunners are living in a fantasy. They honestly believe they can turn a pro-gun state like Ohio into an anti-gun mecca with a simple vote, mostly because they tend to believe that everyone agrees with them on some level or another. Then again, when you live in an echo chamber, it's hard not to delude yourself like that. Honestly, I'm more than a little sick of these people. This piece started with a lot of examples of people being shot, but they've ignored how so-called gun violence has dropped in Ohio over the last handful of years as the state has embraced gun rights. They act like anecdotes is the plural form of data, and it's not. That's going to come up in any fight involving a constitutional amendment, and people aren't going to want to risk a good thing. All right. So, any discussion on that article? I was not aware of this.
I was also unaware.
I don't live in Ohio, so
I only
Yeah.
heard of it like 20 minutes ago.
Do we have any Ohioans out there in the audience? don't know that we have. But it is telling how they tend to do and want to do and run around legislation by trying the constitutional amendment thing. Bama Dad has a comment. Let me get it. Okay, delusional people tend to think that they are so correct, everyone must be in agreement. That is why they become so irrational when they're faced with the truth. That sound logical? Rich, you got anything to say about this? You have something to say about everything. Come on, man.
About what? His comment or the article?
Anything. Or did you just wake up?
I just woke up. I didn't just wake up. But I was going to say something, but I'm not.
Fuku YT's out there. He says, I'm Ohio, but I just got here and I don't know what you're talking about. No. Well, we could go over it all again, but I doubt anybody wants to hear that whole story again.
Well, it boils down to one person said something stupid and then somebody else wrote a story about it.
Well, that's pretty much true. But it is sad, but yes, they will continue trying. That is 100% sure. Okay. What's this about? Oh, really? Okay, this is interesting. Let's try another article, shall we? We have time, I believe. This one is also from today, also by Tom Knighton. It says, Hearing Protection Act garners unlikely allies. Okay, and the article says, there's no surprise that gun rights groups, I guess I should put this on the screen since I took it off a second ago so everybody can read along. Those that are on computers anyway. Here you can see my ad. There we go. Okay, so on the screen it is. Okay, there's no surprise that gun rights groups support the Hearing Protection Act. After all, it's a pro-gun move that would benefit all the gun community greatly, especially if combined with the SHORT Act. The American Suppressor Association being in favor of it is both obvious in and of itself as well as falling into the category above. It's kind of obvious they'd back such a measure. But there are unlikely allies running around, and that's something we should talk about. And it says a letter spearheaded by the American Suppressor Association and signed by Gun Owners of America, the NRA, Second Amendment Foundation, and numerous others urges Senate Majority Leader John Thune to keep provisions in the Budget Reconciliation Bill removing the National Firearms Act tax on suppressors and short-barreled rifles and shotguns. The National Hearing Conservation Association is also a signatory on the letter, noting the health benefits target shooters and sportsmen garner from the use of suppressors. And it says persons wearing conventional hearing protection are not without risk of NIHL, which is noise-induced hearing loss, when using firearms. The noise reduction of hearing protection devices varies considerably across users and may provide significantly less protection from noise than the labeled noise reduction rating suggests. The National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health has recommended the NRR of conventional hearing protection be derated by 25% for earmuffs, 50% for formable earplugs, and 70% for all other earplugs to correspond to existing real-world data. NIOSH research has demonstrated that as many as 50% of persons using earplugs failed to achieve 25 dB of noise reduction for their earplugs. However, using conventional hearing protection in conjunction with a suppressor can significantly reduce the risk of NIHL more than using either device alone. The Academy of Doctors of Audiology has also thrown their support behind provisions removing the NFA tax from suppressors. This isn't actually surprising, considering that suppressors are safety devices that help protect shooters' hearing. They're also pretty useful in protecting the hearing of others who happen to be in the vicinity for whatever reason. Doctors backing this just makes a great deal of sense. Of course, this won't make the same headlines as a random doctor taking an anti-gun stance, but that's neither here nor there. The truth is that the very experts who can and should have an opinion on protecting hearing back the Hearing Protection Act as being useful in protecting hearing. Yet, based on how doctors are portrayed in the media, it feels a little strange to see medical groups backing a gun rights bill. In fact, it kind of negates a lot of the fear-mongering by anti-gun lawmakers who are trying to scuttle the measure. They don't want us having anything, of course, so any step back from the status quo cannot be allowed by them. However, they don't have the final say, and there's a very good chance that these unlikely allies will get their way. This is just another win in a fight I never expected to get here, but let's not rest on our laurels. We still have fights we need to keep up to make this happen. Okay, I think we can all get a little bit out of this one. What do you guys think of that article?
I honestly don't understand the whole push against suppressors. I don't understand it. They make your gun longer, make it quieter,
make it less loud.
Yeah. There's the problem. These idiots buy into the whole Hollywood thing that, oh, they make your gun where you can't hear it. No, they don't.
Not even close.
Nope.
It's more tax money for the government.
Yeah, there's that too.
I can go shoot my rifle and with a suppressor, and a few people will hear it because it does knock down the immense resonation. If I go shoot my rifle without a suppressor, the mountaintops hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm still going to do what I want, but I annoy everyone if I go do that. If I shoot with a suppressor, a couple people might hear it, but it ain't even going to annoy them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and to make the whole thing even sillier, Europe, of all places, there are countries over there where it is required to have a suppressor when
it's
hunting
required
or target
in England,
shooting.
if I'm not mistaken. I was reading about it. It's a requirement to have them.
Yeah, there's a few countries like that over there.
I mean, it just makes it less loud. And no offense, OB, but it makes them less obnoxious.
You son of a bitch.
That hurt.
Even the countries over there where it's not required, it's still considered good manners to use a suppressor.
I'm shooting a 10.5 inch with a brake on it.
Ooh. Ooh.
I got one of them too.
Guess what you won't do very often without any hearing protection.
Yeah, well, you shoot it 5 or 6 times.
You won't do it with that brake.
My hearing is bad enough already as it is.
Yeah, you shoot it 5 or 6 times without hearing protection, and it won't matter anymore.
You won't need a suppressor.
Yeah, you won't need a suppressor.
Now, Guns and Water wants to know, how do you measure sound in the ear canal behind the earplug?
I'm sure they have devices.
I'm sure there's ways to do it. I'm not sure.
But just drill a hole in. They drill a hole in to get the microphone back in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they drill a hole right behind your ear. Yes.
I imagine the most of that is most people don't get a good fit on their earplugs when they put them in, or earmuffs, either one. I know from a fact, if you wear earmuffs and you have glasses, you're not going to get a complete seal. It's just not possible. So you get
that would be everybody shooting. At least it should be.
Pretty much should be. Yeah.
I would guess they measure it by what volume you could hear with the earmuffs versus without, and they could see the difference. They can change the volume until you can't hear it.
And they actually have
a reduction.
Yeah, and they actually do have robot basically that's it looks like a human head that they put the stuff on, and they can actually has sensors inside where they can see how much sound is getting.
Now, G-Web says they drill a hole behind your ear bone and feed a mic in through there.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Checks
that
out.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So let's see. Vulcan Rumble's out there. Smoking Joe's also in the audience. Guns and Water says anti-gunners want to remove fun. That's basically the idea. G-Web says a lot of 9mm shooters use suppressors because they are embarrassed. That could be true.
Now he's just out of line because we all know 9mm doesn't fire off loud enough that you need a suppressor.
Doesn't even
that's
need
true.
one. The suppressor actually makes it echo and reverberate. And it's actually louder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's an amplifier.
Yeah.
It's a loudenser.
It's a loudener.
The sound just ricochets in there, and it's just amplified.
Kind of like putting glass packs on your car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
They're putting glass packs on a V6.
Mm-hmm. Or a 4-cylinder. I've seen
Guns and Water says requirements for suppressors are just a tax. And TJ Fishing says they're illegal here in Australia, so it is so stupid. It is stupid. But it is interesting that we're finding allies in the hearing protection community.
Well, they only make sense. It's not like the movies. The real world is not like the movies. The only thing that is pretty quiet is like 300 blackout. But
22 short.
And a bolt gun.
Well, 22 short, you can pretty much just catch with your hand when it comes by, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's not like the
I
movies.
would not recommend doing that, by the way.
No, you at least need a book, a copy of War and Peace.
Get your catcher's mitt.
They're not like it's not like a whisper. I mean, it just makes it less annoying, and there's no downside to them. Crime isn't going to go up because anybody that's wanting to go commit some sort of crime like that is going to have a homemade one. So it ain't going to change nothing. It's not going to hurt anything. It's only going to help.
Well, speaking of less annoying, we've been joined on the panel by Guns and Bourbon.
That is a lie.
I have my silencer on. Don't worry. I'm less annoying.
It's not working.
Maybe you can suppress some of your
Oh, I
speech.
forgot to register it. Crap.
Oh,
That's why it's not working.
We have Tony York out there in the audience. Wow. Evening, Tony. 223 DMR is out there. We got lots of people. 32 people in the audience. And if you're waiting for the giveaway, get your hashtag in. That is #FT316 for a chance to win a whole bunch of stuff, including an Aegis cleaner and lubricant combo kit.
Ooh.
So are you gonna get you a suppressor here pretty soon, Guns and Barbecue?
I've been thinking about this. So I keep hearing how it's going to remove them from the NFA, but is it really going to remove them from the NFA, or is it only removing the tax? Are you still going to have to do all the other BS that you have to do with NFA? All the paperwork and all the submissions and waiting and all the other crap still.
Guess we don't know that.
Well, if they're going to remove it from the NFA, then I would assume that means removing it from the NFA. But
it's a reconciliation bill. The only thing they can do is monetary.
G-Web says removes all registration from NFA. Now, Gunswater says no, just 4473.
See, this is where I'm confused because I was under the impression with it being a reconciliation bill, the only thing they could do is monetary, which would be the tax.
Well, let's look this up.
Rich,
you need an answer.
You're the expert.
He's being
Get to Googling, you two.
He's being suspiciously quiet for some
I haven't
reason.
actually read the bill. I'm like Congress. I haven't read the bill.
Well, does a reconciliation bill require it to be monetary only? Like
No.
old doom and gloom barbecue, or can it actually remove it from registration?
Yeah, they can. Once it's passed by the House, they can change it. and then it goes back to the house again. That's the whole point of reconciliation.
So it has nothing to do with financial only.
I
No.
thought the whole point of reconciliation
so
was so that the
barbecues-
kids didn't have to have 2 Christmases.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
So barbecue's spreading lies.
But reconciliation, it originated in the House.
Yes, it originated in the House. The Senate changes it, and reconciliation is the House and Senate getting together to negotiate how they're going to pass it in both houses. If the House decides not to pass it as the Senate passes it.
But I thought it was called a reconciliation bill from the get-go.
No, it's not a reconciliation bill unless the other house changes it. Then they got reconcile their differences as reconciliation.
What if they're irreconcilable?
Well, then the bill doesn't get passed.
I'm gonna say that could be that poison pill we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, according to what I'm reading right now, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, H.R. 1, includes Section 2 of the Hearing Protection Act, removing suppressors from the NFA. This would effectively eliminate the $200 tax stamp and NFA registration requirements. If this bill becomes law, suppressors would be subject to the standard Gun Control Act background check process, requiring the completion of a standard Form 4473, but not the NFA specific portion.
Oh, good. Then
Like it should be like
absolutely.
buying a grip or a stock or anything else. It should just go pick them up.
Right. And there should be no 4473 on it because it's not a firearm.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
We could all
But it
agree
should
that it's not necessary, but
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, in that case, absolutely.
G-Web says, if you make your own, know nothing.
I was gonna say the solvent traps. Oh my God, those are gonna be selling like hotcakes.
Gonna say, buy your Fram stock now. That's all I gotta say. Bama Dad says, I guess banning all NFA items in Illinois gets JD Pritzker a few extra Snickers bars.
They were banned before JD was in office. That and the melting point. You can't buy a high point in Illinois either.
You can't buy a high point.
Nope.
Nope.
They have a melting point law.
Yep.
Does it get really hot there? Is that why? Or?
When do high points melt?
I don't know. It's low enough that
Certainly, they can't melt quicker than a polymer frame gun, can they?
yeah, but your slide isn't gonna. High points are it's the slide. I don't ask me to make it make sense. I'm just telling you, you can't buy a high point in Illinois because they have a melting point law.
That's a shame. It should be high points for everyone.
Yeah.
Gunswater says, I heard Cracker Jacks is going to put suppressors in the box to boost sales. They better get
And-
bigger boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not if you're getting an Odessa 9. They'll fit in there.
They could get little 22 cans on there. That'd be bad. Yeah. But I would definitely buy some Cracker Jacks if they were giving away suppressors. Hell yeah. What else is going on, guys? We've had 2 riveting stories about gun rights.
Have we?
Yes.
Oh, I missed them. Do them over. I'm important like that.
Are you?
No.
I think he's got an extra letter in there.
I was going to say, yeah, you're about 1 letter off, buddy. But I wasn't the only person thinking that same thing. Where's Snob?
I don't know.
Does he still hang with you
Oklahoma.
guys?
I don't think he believes in the 2A anymore.
He must have gotten with that midnight range guy. Yeah. laying low.
He can only lay so low. He sticks up pretty high off the ground, even if he's laying flat.
Which one? I mean, they're both pretty good sized fellers.
Well, no one can.
What's that big hill out on the prairie?
Two Live Moose says Snob is giving MRTM a front rub. Wow.
Tony says he doesn't think they can buy Rough Riders in Illinois either.
No, you can't because they're also under the melting point.
And the melting point is probably a temperature that neither gun will get to when being used.
Well, it's so that they can't be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, don't ask me to make it make sense.
No, I'm not.
You know,
Maryland's got some silly laws too.
here, I didn't think you'd say anything positive about Illinois, but not being able to buy a high point, that's a positive.
Jacob says, really? A Rough Rider?
It's Illinois, Jacob. Nothing's weird. Don't be surprised by anything they do.
You can't buy a Rough Rider there either.
That's what Tony was saying.
Well, they're just out there doing the Lord's work, aren't they? Just protecting everybody from flimsy firearms.
G-Web says, melting point laws are from 1968 pistol import restrictions. Parentheses, Saturday night specials.
I have heard that before.
And Tony says it is fairly recently, too. I bought a Rough Rider here in 2018. All I know is I don't blame Obi for anything in Illinois because Obi did the smart thing and left
Got the hell out.
Illinois.
If only the Bears would, then they might win a Super Bowl.
Really? You went there?
I did.
You
No
did.
regrets.
You did. No regrets? Not even one?
Not even one.
That's my credo.
Well, this might be the Bears' year. You know, they
We
get
say that every year.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, we say wait till next year.
you get
Not even.
a good skilled front office making, deft picks in the draft, people who are really going to make a difference later.
Yep. Definitely make sure you pick son Patrick Mahomes to take Mitch Trubisky. That's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky worked out well in Pittsburgh too. So
They could have signed Aaron Rodgers.
I'm gonna say going to get owned by the Steelers this year, so that's all that matters.
yeah. Tony brings up a good point too. He said Illinois loves destroying guns. You would think they would love high points.
Well, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it easier to destroy.
Mm-hmm.
They just get the guys over at Benchmade to cut them in half.
That's it. That is 100% it.
No, Springfield.
Oh,
No, it was Benchmade that cut them in half.
I know, but Benchmade's too far away. They'd get Springfield to do it.
Oh.
They would gladly do it.
they would. Abby
They just
Finnegan's
passed some sort of ambiguous law that benefited them somehow, whatever that was.
Absolutely, they would.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why high points are illegal. It's all Springfield's fault.
Probably is.
But one thing that will pass the melting point rule is
what?
gear websites. It could stand up to the heat because it's your source for every second matters. Gun channels, gear, ammo ID, and more. They have patches, stickers, and other items, and every Friday is Free Patch Friday. So buy cool stuff at gearwebsites.com.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.
Now, see how it stands up to the heat. Don't you just feel cooler now that you've watched that commercial? You should. That's what Gear Websites does for you.
Mhm.
You cut it off short. He was given the website, and you cut it off at dot.
I actually typed it out there in the chat.
Okay.
Abigail says, on this day in 1996, Steve Austin won King of the Ring and cut the iconic Austin 316 promo.
Yeah, which I paraphrased part of earlier.
Well. That was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many millions of dollars Vince, Austin, and all those people made off that one promo.
Oh, that made Austin. That set his career in WWE right then and there.
Yeah, it just went straight up from there.
Yeah.
It created.
He was only going to be upper mid card. That was Vince's plan for him. But after that promo, he put a rocket to him.
Yep, they all made millions off that one lawn.
Is it just happenstance that tonight is FT 316?
Oh, snap.
Am I the only one to catch that?
No, I made a reference to that earlier. When I put my hashtag in, I put a hashtag FT316, just says, I just whooped your candy ass.
Yeah, except he didn't say candy ass.
He didn't say candy ass.
Who do you think you are, the Rock?
Yes, I did. I know he didn't. That's why I said I paraphrased it when I said it.
That's not exactly what paraphrase means, but
actually
merged two people together. Yeah, misquote is what you meant.
Guns and Water says the Bionic Man. I think there might be a different Steve Austin.
Yeah, wrong one.
That's not bad though.
No.
He could have been bionic, I suppose. I know.
That's a good Lee Majors reference.
Yes, it is. We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Well, he's the fall guy.
Who was originally supposed to win that King in the Ring? But he got in trouble because of something else that happened earlier in the year.
Triple H, curtain call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they hugged it out.
Yep. In Madison Square Garden. Because Nash and Hall were leaving.
And Michael was the champ.
Artek and Daughters wants to know who the hell is using a CPAP?
Like in general or right now?
Yeah, I've got one in my bedroom, but it's not on right now.
In general, I use one, but I'm not on it right now.
Abby says the bionic redneck Texas rattlesnake. Because Nash and Hall went to WCW.
And formed the NWO.
No, that's WCW. Yeah, exactly. Like Sarge said.
WCW.
WCW.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Monday Nitro at Independence Arena in Charlotte the first night Bret Hart was on TV, right after the screw job. I was there for his TV debut in WCW.
Sorry, that had to be pretty awesome.
It was.
We have William Hall out there. Says, hey, all. Evening to you. Evening.
Even though in 2 months they completely screwed it up.
Wow.
And then less than a year later he's out of the business because Goldberg kicked his head off.
He was there for a couple years.
Yeah, it was several years he was there.
Yeah.
But he definitely got concussed.
Yeah, and Hart did admit that what happened with Goldberg was partially his fault because he was out of position when Goldberg threw the kick. And on top of that, afterwards, he wrestled 2 more matches, which nobody ever wants to talk about either. Which probably didn't help matters either.
With the concussion.
Mm-hmm.
Abby said WWF got mad and Triple H was the only one involved that could be punished, so he was basically jobbing for a while.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They couldn't do anything to Shawn Michaels, and Hall and Nash left, so he had to take all the brunt of it.
But anyway, I think that it's time for a little bit of jovial music. So let's have some.
Oh, who's the chicken that everyone loves? Gizzard Gary, who's 4'2" but stands above. Gizzard Gary, a ton of its wives and more to come. Gizzard Gary, who loves to give gifts to everyone. Gizzard Gary, giveaway. Gizzard Gary, giveaway. Gizzard Gary, giveaway.
Hi, folks. Gizzard Gary here. All right, so it is time for the, what do they call it? The Fowl Territory Prize giveaway. And we're going to have some swag I'm going to show you here in a second. And of course, there will be something that is provided by my sponsor, and that is the good folks at, let me get that graphic and put it on the screen, Aegis Gun Care. That's right. They are providing a cleaner and lubricant combo kit for tonight's winner. So you get a full bottle of the Aegis cleaner and a full bottle of the lubricant. So if you've got the brushes and you've got all the tools, you'll have the juice to clean up your stuff, and it's good stuff. So anyway, let me see. Put myself full screen here so I can show you what you're going to win this evening. If you care, and even if you don't. Okay, so we're going to start with the Fowl Territory thumbnail sticker, the official one, almost as big as my head, not quite. The Fowl Territory thumbnail sticker. And a sticker from the good folks at XS, not Aegis sites. These are XS sites, because they are the fastest sites in any light. Everybody knows that. Okay, courtesy of DM Foss, we're giving away the Haterade Thirst Destroyer sticker, the Papa Smurf sticker, and the Hell No Kitty sticker. And then, courtesy of Squibload, we're giving away this, I guess, just a miscellaneous chicken sticker that he got while he was in Hawaii a couple of years ago. You're going to get a sticker with Jackal on there, or Jackal, however you pronounce that. You could correct me.
Is that the New Jersey Jackals, or who is that?
Something like that. Then you're going to get a sticker from the good folks at Live Free Armory. They are true American manufacturing, by the way. I wonder, do I have two stuck together here? I do. Let me just get one then. You're going to get a decal. It's going to be kind of hard to see. This is from VersaCarry. Then we have a sticker from another YouTuber, Ron Wayne. There's his channel sticker. And then a sticker from Stroop Knives. Okay, so that's the end of the stickers. As far as patches, I still have a few of these, not very many. This is the 2024 NRA Dallas patch, courtesy of Palmetto State Armory. Courtesy of Stan at SS Pawn, you're going to get a dead air silencer. Speaking of silencers, patch right here. Last but not least, courtesy of Gun Owners of America, you're going to get one of their patches also. And then I'm throwing in a koozie again this week. And this week's koozie is from Bear Creek Arsenal. All right, you're also going to get the official Gizzard Gary pin, which you can stick on your hat. You can stick it on your jacket, or God forbid your cat. Don't do it on their birthday, though. It's just wrong to do that. And of course, not just one, but a complete set of coasters from the good folks at EAA. And they know exactly what your family needs are, so they've provided 7 of these coasters in here because that's a perfect number for a family. I think that's something they must have checked on in Europe and found to be true. I don't know. Anyway, that's how many are in that packet. And
in some countries in Europe, you're actually required to have 7 coasters.
It could be.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, the winner is also going to get the cleaner and lubricant combo kit from Aegis. So who's going to win that, you're probably asking me right now. Well, we determine that by using this. This is the official StreamYard giveaway tool. We have 30 people entered in the giveaway. According to StreamYard, there are 35 on YouTube right now and 3 on X. So, I believe we've had plenty of time. So,
I believe so too. And in the spirit of Austin 316, I can smell what you're cooking. So do it now.
And who's the winner going to be? Oh, looky there.
No.
Long time, no win. Jacob S. is back. Jacob S., are you out there in the chat? That's his face. That's Facebook, Jacob. Oh.
If you answer, you hate guns.
He says, hey, it's been a while. It has been a while.
And now we know he hates guns.
All right. So we're getting plenty of congratulations.
At least he's here to hate him, unlike Snob, who just hates him
Mm-hmm.
all
That's
by
true.
himself.
True.
So anyway, well, that was cool. So I don't believe I need Jacob to send his address. I'm pretty
Can
sure I
he
got it.
smell what Austin is cooking?
I don't know. Can you, Jacob? Same address. I kind of figured as much. Okay, so we are going to transition to the next segment of the show.
Really? You're going to
Yeah.
transition?
Huh?
We're going to
What?
transition. Yeah. We're going to take away some parts and put some other parts in. Yeah. We're going to do it that way.
Whoa, man.
Yeah.
What if
You're
you're
a little
adding
rough
parts?
in here.
It's legal. Trust me. It's legal. Anyway, at least that's what I'm told by my attorneys. So, anyway, this is what some people call their second favorite part of the show, and this is where we invite people to send their Gorn to Gorn at gizzardgary.com, and then we put it on the screen. Does that sound like a deal? Yeah, free advertisement. Show us your Gorn. Please include your channel name in the email so I'll know who you are out there, and I don't just have to guess from your email address. So,
You working again, Gizzard?
do what?
Nothing. Never mind. I'm your Huckleberry.
You lost me completely. I'm sure you'll fill me in later. Okay.
Nope.
or you won't. One or the other.
I will not.
Okay, looks like I got at least one Gorn out there. I know I've got some others too. Here's one out of the email. Let's take a look at this. This is from Alaska One Andy. And he says a rigger number 1 and a Remington 700 and 204 rigger.
So the Ruger's chambered in what?
204 rigger.
I thought you said the Remington was 204 Ruger.
Oh, it is. It doesn't say on rigger number 1.
So the Ruger's something and the Remington's Ruger.
Isn't the rigger number 1 a 22 long rifle? I can't remember.
But the other one's a Ruger 204. Or is it a Remington?
One on the right's a Remington.
But it's a Ruger 204.
That's caliber, yes.
Ah.
Okay.
But did it pass?
Did it pass? This too shall pass.
It passed, P-A-S-T.
Okay. So we got some Gorn here on the text. Let's take a look at this one first. This says, introduce everyone to Kevin.
That's Kevin.
Kevin Dog?
That's Kevin, everyone.
Kevin's a little English lab.
Is he a good puppy?
He's fairly good.
Is that yours?
Is that mine?
Yeah.
It's Mrs. Sarge's.
How many freaking dogs have you got now?
4, to be specific.
Oh, you got a lot of room to talk over.
I have 3.
Oh,
You upset the balance. Oh, no.
3 was a perfectly fine number. So Kevin came along.
Sometimes 3 is a little much.
Mm-hmm. Now it's 4.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And mine aren't spaced out well anymore. So it's gonna be rough around here.
You'll have 4 before you know it.
No.
Okay, so going back, I believe we have some other Gorn here. Says, bought a primary arms magnifier and unity flip to center mount from my new work EOTech XPS2.
Yeah, the picture shows it when it's flipped.
Snob's eyes are twitching right now.
Let's look at the
If he was watching, but he's not watching. So.
Mm-hmm.
Why would his eye twitch? Oh, because the rifle's painted?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's better.
I couldn't bring myself to spend $700 or $800 on the EOTech magnifier for it to just weigh twice as much as that primary arms. I just couldn't do it. And it works just as well.
Just that seems like it's high. I'm sure it's not, but it looks.
It does look a little high in that picture, but that's because the adjustment is a bump on it. If you look at the center line up, it's actually lined up perfectly because that unity mount is meant to go with that setup. So it's like the perfect height. of those two items right there, the mount costs more than the magnifier.
Wow.
I don't doubt that at all. The Unity, they're not giving those things away.
I mean, it is pretty high tech. It's pretty cool, and it's more reasonable than just those risers. Those risers that are what, 150, 180 bucks. This thing's pretty dang trick, and it was like 217. It wasn't much more, but it's actually pretty cool.
Then the fast mount, is that what they are? The fast riser?
Yeah, that's the fast mount.
I don't like those.
I like it so far.
I like the Reptilia ones.
No, that's the fast mount. That is the fast mount right there. That's what the box said. Fast fits flip to center. Is that what they call all theirs?
I thought the high riser mounts were the fast mount. I could be wrong.
It may just be what they call all the tall ones.
Okay, so we got this in the mail from Justin Grimm.
He mailed it?
Did. Waiting to see all the I support Iran flags on people's accounts. Neither side eats bacon. This is not my war. I care not.
Could you imagine printing off that meme, putting it in an envelope, getting some stamps for it, and mailing it to Gizzard?
That guy looks like Rich.
It does. We need to save that. We need to change the words to, are you purposely being this obtuse? Gizzard, send that to me. I need to fix it real quick.
Are you intentionally this obtuse?
Gizzard, send me that picture.
All right, check your email.
Email.
I know it's old-fashioned and all
Because
that.
you didn't put a stamp on it.
I can
If you like it, you better put a stamp on it.
put a ring on it. That's right.
Somebody took that to heart too many times.
I know, right? But not
But it's
lately.
not coming through. There's just a little tiny little thing that says image JPG, but it's not actually there.
Oh my God.
It's got to work its way through the interwebs.
Can't help it if the IT guy can't send it. Just god dang save it, then text it to me. I'd already have it.
I already did. Shut up.
Yeah, you did after I told you.
Great. Now I've got an extra text that I didn't ask for.
Do I have to pay a text tax on that?
Mm-hmm. $200.
You pay now.
No,
Been here for an hour. You go home.
You no pay. You go home.
So how's World War III going? Anybody hear an update on it lately?
Pretty sure it's over.
I know it was trending all over X the other day. World War III. We're all gonna die.
We win again.
3 world wars.
The problem is they're not going to go to war with the 1911 anymore.
No.
So we're probably going to lose this one.
We'll bring it out of retirement. It's our safety blanket.
Give them a bunch of Philippine.
Yeah, Philippines is going to win this one.
And Turkey.
This one will be won by Rock Island Arms.
Oh shit, Turkey's making quite a few 1911s right now too.
Gerson.
Yep.
Gonna win it with my Witness Match
Are they
X.
making as many as RIA though?
Probably not, but
Yeah, round 2A matters is going to bed. We've already lost Bama Dad, so people just can't hang, I tell you. Up.
Blackbirds.
Oh, we got more Gorin. It may kind of look familiar. And then again, maybe not. This, are you purposefully being this obtuse? Wow. Just need a cat on him. Vulcan Rumble says what I'm hearing is that even the Chinese are mad at the Iranians for trying to block the Gulf.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy says, don't say Tex Tax out loud. Prickster might you. Uh-oh. He ain't gonna get me.
It's funny. Every country that the left has come out and said is going to back Iran is like, oh, no, we're not. They're all like, nope, leave us out of it.
But what time is it? Yeah, it's getting to be about that time. Okay. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and put this up, and I'm going to transition us. Yes, I'm a transition type fella. You know me. So we're going to transition to that last segment of the show. We called that What Did You Learn? And I'm going to ask each of my panelists a simple question. What did you learn tonight? And then once I get their answer, they are free to plug whatever they want to plug about their channel or anybody else's, or even something completely random. So, Obnoxious One, what did you learn?
Yo.
What
Thank you for the invite.
gained this evening?
What did I gain this evening?
Yeah.
I don't think I gained anything.
Really? You're not any richer for having been here for an hour.
Mm-mm. Nope. Actually costed me money because I got to run the computer down here, so I'm burning electricity.
Got those extra texts too you got to pay for.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
Well,
thanks for
hopefully your fee will more than offset your expenses. So.
Pretty sure that's not how it works.
Well, anyway, what have you got coming up?
Stuff.
Probably a knife review or two.
Yeah, that'll be coming up.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, thank you for being here as always. Rich White, what did you learn?
I learned that Gary likes to transition like it's some kind of hobby or something.
It more or less is. So what have you got coming up?
Let's see. We got this thing on Sunday on the media channel called This Week Unloaded. It's on at 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Rumble, and X.
Do you give away stuff on your show?
Once a year.
Oh, how's that work out for you?
Christmas Eve, man. Give away every Christmas Eve.
You ever hear of Christmas in July? July's coming up. Get
Yeah,
ready.
but that was just a sale somebody came up with.
Okay, anything else?
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's go to somebody who does know. Sarge, what did you learn?
Oh gosh, I did learn something a while ago, but now I forgot it.
Didn't say you'd retain it.
I forgot what it was. It was something Rich said.
Oh.
The Senate parliamentarian was that what you...
Oh, well, yeah, there it was.
There you go. Well, what have you got coming up, Sarge?
I got a new optic that I have
Yes.
to get one of the first videos out on later in the week. So I got that coming up. And I got Kevin.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for being here. And last but not least, Guns and Barbecue. What did you learn?
I learned that Sarge got to witness wrestling history.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
All right. So what do you got coming up?
I've got a couple of videos that I need to edit for the Two Ways Blind channel. So yeah, just gotta get those finished up and posted when I feel like. And that's about it. I'm not gonna do any lives on the Guns and Barbecue channel until I get a new mic, since I was having those issues Wednesday night on your show. So thanks for the invite.
Yeah, you bet. Good luck with that, and thanks for being here. Okay, so as for me, Wednesday night for the channel members, the members only chat, that is at 8:30 p.m. Central every Wednesday, and this week we are giving away the Civivi Nugs. So anyway, come by and check that out if you're a channel member. I do have 3 knives in this past week, 1 from CJRB and 2 from Civivi that I need to do videos on. So those will be out there, plus the 2 flashlight videos I did last week. So if you've checked those out, I appreciate it. And of course, next week we will do Fowl Territory on Monday night, every Monday night at 9:00 p.m. Central. So on behalf of my panel, let's see. First thing I need to do is thank everybody for watching, whether you watched on YouTube, Facebook, or X, or if you're watching in replay. We thank you watching that also. And thanks to everybody who was on a panel. Thanks to everybody out there in the chat for their comments. Everybody who sent in Gorn. And a special thanks to all my channel members out there for all the support they give to my channel. I very much appreciate it. So until next time, I leave you with this. If anyone tries to infringe on your right to keep and bear arms, give them the bird. This is Gizzard Gary. That there people out there, that's my panel. They're telling you good night. As soon as they're done telling you good night, we're going to end the stream. So
Good night.
Good night.
If you really want to know what I think of Brett the Hitman Hart, take an S and put it in front of Hitman, and you know how I feel.
Nobody cares what you think.